Paul, you should be able to see that.
Yes, I can.
And it looks like we're live.
Okay, so check them on the different things, honey. Okay, I'm going to mute it.
Life is good because we have music, so why don't we just sing all the time? We may be different, we make mistakes, and sometimes we give, and sometimes we take, but each day we learn, and each day we thrive, but most of all, life is good because we're alive. Sweet as candy, sweet as family, sweet as apple pie, sweet as apple pie. Good times and bad times, sad times and mad times, young, wild and free, it's good to be me. Life is good because we have music, so why don't we just sing all the time? We may be different, we make mistakes, and sometimes we give, and sometimes we take, but each day we learn, and each day we thrive, but most of all, life is good because we're alive. Making new friends, keep the old friends, walking on a cloud. Let's have some fun till the day is done. Fireflies light up the night. Life is good because we have music, so why don't we just sing all the time? We may be different, we make mistakes, sometimes we give and sometimes we take, but each day we learn and each day we thrive, but most of all, life is good because we're most of all, life is good because we're most of all, life is good because we're alive. Some heroes can fly and others don't need to. Some can stretch from here to there and others lead the way to somewhere. What they dream and what they do inspires us all to see it through. Stand up and be heard. One little light can change the world. Stand up and be heard. One little song can change the world. what you have to say. Skin, it can be pretty thin. Skin is just the suit you're in. Skin. I wanna know what's in your heart. Don't matter if your skin is light or dark. I don't care where you live or what you wear. If you got cornrows or straight blonde hair. Skin, it can be pretty thin. Skin is just the suit you're in. Skin. Stood for made us think we're all God's children, all just the same, with different faces and different natures. Skin, it can be pretty thin. Skin is just the suit you're in. Skin, it can be pretty thin. Your skin
can be thick or thin. Just be yourself, not some pseudonym. We go out the way we came in. You look so beautiful in your skin. Can be pretty thin. It's just the suit that you're in. Can be pretty thin, but you look so beautiful in your skin. It's the suit that you're in.
Go on and give me some skin.
Like a trip on the wind, slip on the rain, wander around, forget what to say. If I fell from the sky, forget I'd land in the clouds. I'd whisper I love you right out loud. Hablo bajito, te quiero. I don't know why. Hablo bajito, te quiero. I'll be your lullaby. Let's go see the stars, dance on the moon, sing in the sunrise like the nightingales do. We'll follow Orion as he traces the sky and whisper te amo all through the night. Hablo bajito, te quiero. I don't know why. Hablo bajito, te quiero. I'll be your lullaby. Hablo bajito, te quiero. I don't know why. Hablo bajito, te quiero. I'll be your lullaby.
I used to know the names of all the stars. Now I just know a few planets like Jupiter, Earth, and Mars. I used to know the name of every child. Back before I was born, back when I was safe and warm, back when I was flying in the sky. Now I have to go to school and learn it all again, get good grades and try to remember when I used to know the words to all the songs. Now I only know the melodies and I just hum along. I used to know the language of the birds, the robin and the blue jay. I always knew what they would say, the prettiest songs that I have ever heard. Now I have to go to school and learn it all again, get good grades and try to remember we. I used to know the names of every tree, and now they're just a forest in the dusk of evening. I used to see the God in everything, and now it's just a rustling, a whisper that I'm trusting when the redbud blossoms in the spring. And now I have to sleep and learn it all again, and let my dreaming take me to the place where it began. Oh, oh,
oh. Life is good because we have music, so why don't we just sing all the time? We may be different, we make mistakes, and sometimes we give and sometimes we take, but each day we learn and each day we thrive. But most of all, life is good because we're alive. Sweet as candy, sweet as family, sweet as apple pie, sweet as apple pie. Good times and bad times, sad times and mad times, young, wild and free, it's good to be me. Life is good because we have music.
You were muted. Go ahead.
All I can say is I had a chance to have a sneak peek.
You were muted. Go ahead. Again.
Oh, I have to start over again because I was on mute. Now I'm not. Welcome, everybody, to Because We Have Music. My name is Cheryl Toth, and I'm here with Paul Reisler, and we are in for such a wonderful evening of music. I had a chance to have a sneak peek into sound checks, and I got to tell you, tonight we have two iconic songwriters, musicians, award winners, and they're really good friends, and they're performing together in the same studio. This is like just so exciting. It's going to be wonderful. So I want to welcome Jon Vezner and Pat Alger, and we're so happy to have you with us tonight. It's just going to be such a dream for us to be listening to your music and hear your stories and to share it with our great, amazing Zoom audience and Facebook audience. So welcome, gentlemen.
Couldn't show up,
That's
so we're
right.
filling in.
I'm not sure about this friend thing. I mentioned we were friends, but we
Okay, maybe I made some assumptions.
I hardly know him.
Pat and I, whoops.
And we don't, what I know of him, I'm not crazy about, to be honest with you.
I can't hear anything.
That's right. I love Jon Vezner. He's one of my favorite people, and
Yes.
that's really true. We're like brothers, except not so alike.
Truly like family, right?
More like it, yeah.
More like it.
Very, very
Oh
true.
my gosh. Well, we are so excited to have you here. And
Thank you.
If I spent time reading, and I will drop in a few names from your bios, but I could spend probably the whole hour talking about the amazing musicians that you have worked with, all of the top songs. And
Yeah, it's been
but I
a
have
long time.
I have snuck in a few videos for both of you, so
Oh, cool.
I have some questions for you.
Okay.
And I have one request for you, Jon, but I'll make a
okay.
request a little bit later. We're going to start off this evening with Jon Vezner, amazing friend. He's actually performed on KidPanAlley albums as well, and so
And he's also written some of the songs that are on our KidPanAlley albums. with the
Absolutely.
kids. And also, two of the songs he wrote with the kids are in KidPanAlley musicals.
Cool. That's neat.
Great.
So as you all know, in Zoom world, we do this in rounds. So Jon, how about if you start us off with
All
what do you
right. I'm going to take this headset off while we're singing because I hear myself twice and once is enough. So, I'm going to do a song this is the first song that Pat and I ever wrote way back in it was back in the 80s, the 1980s, and
That's why it was.
yeah, it was. Pat came in with this chorus, and we finished the song in about 30 minutes, and I guess Johnny Rodriguez recorded this.
Yeah.
This is I love this song. I don't do it enough, but here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There'll be one less rose in Texas when you're gone. One more broken heart in San Antonio. I'm gonna be one lonesome cowboy from now on. One less rose in Texas when you're gone. When the sun comes up, I know you're leaving. Even all my dreams fade. What's the next word? I forgot the next.
Though I'm not the kind who want to cry.
Oh, when the sun comes up, I know you're leaving. We're professionals. And though I'm not the kind to cry, the tears are gonna fall, though you'd see them. I'll be bluer than the Texas sky. There'll be one less rose in Texas when you're gone. One more broken heart in San Antonio. I'm gonna be one lonesome cowboy from now on. One less rose in Texas when you're gone. Take it, Pat. the sun is sure to follow, leaving all my dreams to fade away. Will you be looking forward to tomorrow? I'll be looking back on yesterday. There'll be one less rose in Texas when you're gone, one more broken heart in San Antonio. I'm gonna be one lonesome cowboy from now on, one less rose in Texas when you're gone. Gonna be one lonesome cowboy from now on, one less rose in Texas when you're gone. And that's the reason why I don't do that song.
Woo!
Those were the words you wrote.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I love hearing the two of
I
you
gotta put this thing
collaborate
back in my
together.
ear.
You really are like brothers up there. What's
Oh
that,
yeah.
what's that word? Oh yeah, what's that chord? Okay, we got it. I love
Well, it's been 6 months since I played a gig, so I'm
I'm
well,
the one messing up.
Glad you're playing one now.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So lovely to hear you both.
It is.
Thank you.
It's great. It's great to be somewhere
Everybody,
besides my house. It's really great.
on YouTube or here on KidPanAlley, if you have anything you want to say to the musicians,
Make sure you put it
it
in the
there,
chat.
and we'll ask them the question.
So, Pat, I had a chance to watch a video that you made.
Yeah.
It was with NAM, and you were talking
Oh, yeah,
about
yeah,
oral history and the importance of that has been for you
yeah.
in regards to your songwriting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they really do a great job. I don't know if anybody knows who NAM is. They're really a great organization of musical merchandisers, and musical merchandisers are a little different than people that sell shirts and ties and stuff. They're kind of warm-hearted individuals who love the players, and one year I got interviewed by this lovely man named Dan Del Fiorentino, I believe is his name. You know, it's to think about your history and at all is, you know, very intimidating sometimes, because you know, when I started in Atlanta in 1968, I think, I was just happy to get a gig in a coffee house, you know, and you know, to be still playing gigs at my age is really crazy. And it's all because of songs. The songs took us everywhere we went. You know, I never wanted to be a star, and I never became a star. And it was always about the songs. And you know, the friends you make through a song it's very difficult to describe how important that is to your soul. You know.
So.
One of the interesting connections, especially for tonight, you were talking in this interview about how you came to work with Garth Brooks on the song Thunder Rolls.
Yeah.
Actually, Garth, well, maybe you should tell the story where Garth got the idea about Thunder Rolls, because
Well, you know, it came from he is just a very creative guy. He came in and he just thought he would like to do a cheating song. I mean, the term "Thunder Rolls" is an old expression. I think it's in the song "How Great Thou Art," and it's in a lot of bluegrass songs, and it's been a song. It was in another song I wrote. It's been around for a long time. I think the genius of Garth, though, is the fact that he wanted to make the thunder kind of a character in the song, and kind of like a Greek chorus, sort of. And it was a wonderful day at the office, as we say. It was pretty easy to write. That's not a true story, by the way. So I always might like to make that disclaimer on that one. You know, one of the things about talking about how you wrote songs is after 30 years, they're all become a little bit apocryphal, your stories. You know, I think probably at the time we wrote most of our songs, we were just concerned of where we're going to go to lunch next, you know, really.
Speaking of lunch,
Speaking of lunch, yeah.
So, what will you be playing for us tonight?
I'm going to go do a Garth song to start off, just because if there's any Garth fans tuning in, I always like to respect them. They're the best fans in the world that I've ever met.
you might want to say which Garth that is.
This is a guy named Garth Brooks for people that have somehow fell asleep 30 years ago and have just woken up today. One of the greatest things about Garth was just his energy, and it's still amazing. This energy is like, I think he's 58, and he just buzzes around like a kid. And this is another idea he had, and when he started talking about it, which is what we do on all of our songwriting appointments, is was talk about the story. I said, "Yeah, man, I know exactly what you're talking about." And it was from a completely different experience and different place I was coming from, but it was really the same thing. And there's a little bit of me in this one, a little bit of him, and just a little bit of everybody from what I hear. This song has made me a lot of friends. It's called Unanswered Prayers. Just the other night, at a hometown football game, my wife and I ran into my old high school flame. And as I introduced them, the past came back to me, and I couldn't help but think of the way things used to be. She was the one I wanted for all time, and each night I spent praying that God would make her mine. And if he'd only grant me this wish I wished back then, you know I'd never ask for anything again. Sometimes I thank God for unanswered prayers. Remember when you're talking to the man upstairs. Just because he doesn't answer doesn't mean he don't care. Some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. She wasn't quite the angel I remembered in my dreams, and I could tell time had changed me in her eyes too, it seemed. We tried to talk about the old days, there wasn't much we could recall. I guess the Lord knows what he's doing after all. And as she walked away, I looked at my wife. Then and there I thanked the good for the gifts in my life. Sometimes I thank God for unanswered prayers. Remember when you're talking to the man upstairs. Just because he doesn't answer doesn't mean he don't care. 'Cause some of God's greatest gifts, yes, some of God's greatest gifts, some of God's greatest gifts And that's the truth.
Well, thank
Hey, all right, thank you.
you. Having both of you two here tonight, that's one of God's greatest gifts for us and everyone that's
Well,
watching.
thank you.
As a matter of fact, Bob Trafton says, this is fantastic. Thank you, Pat, and thank you, John. So the
Look at all our
messages are
friends-
pouring
look at all our
in.
friends out there in the audience here.
Both of them.
Yeah, I've got
So mean.
Pat and John in there, both of them.
There you go.
Well, what a beautiful song that was, Pat.
You know, that's a, yeah, it's, yeah, this, I was always thought about that song. It's an interesting song, the structure, because after the second verse, you go to the bridge rather than go to the chorus. Nobody's ever done that before or since.
I got one free pass, you know. That's probably the only number one record where they only repeated the chorus twice, I think. We just knew when we wrote it that it was kind of we thought it was kind of humorous. We didn't think it was a funny song or a jokey song, but we thought there was a little humor to it. And we felt if we just repeated the hook, it would just get old. And, so we only did it twice, and worked out okay.
I would say so. I do believe so.
Beautiful, beautiful song. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, all of you who are out there watching, please put something in the chat. Let us know who you are and where you're from. And anything you want to say to the musicians, go put it in the chat. All the chat comes in from YouTube and Facebook and Zoom, so hopefully we'll see it all.
So-
But anyway, beautiful songs, both of you.
Gloria Wadsworth Mayo says, love unanswered prayer, and my cousin Pat.
Oh, that was one of my cuz down from down in Georgia. Hey, cuz.
Hey.
Whichever one you are. Who's that? Is that
We have
Ginger?
a reach here. We have a reach.
Oh, okay.
So, Paul, I think we're going to do one of the songs you've written. So
yeah.
tell us the story.
Okay. Well, this is one, I used to organize a songwriters retreat that John has been to along with his wife, Kathy McCrea, and a lot of our friends like Beth Chapman and Angela Cassett, and Gary Nicholson, and a whole bunch of other great songwriters. I would organize 6 of us to come together for 2 weeks. And we'd each write about a dozen songs in that 2 weeks. And on this particular song, I was writing with Pam Rose and Georgia Middleman, 2 amazing songwriters. And, you know, before you start writing, you're just kind of talking a little bit about your life and stuff. And we realized that we all 3 of us had mental illness in our family. For me, it was my late wife's sister, Mary Jo, who's been institutionalized for most of her life. And we started imagining that we were at their gravesite for their funeral and realizing so many things about them. So this is called Forgiveness. And, you know, we're coming up on Thanksgiving on Thursday. And not everybody's going to be together with their families, but some may be over Zoom, some may be together with their families, and some may have members of their family who they don't agree with politically. And anyway, we have to forgive each other. This is forgiveness.
Somehow the wind won't even whisper. It's so quiet in this place. Strange, I thought there'd be a lot more tears rolling down my face. I didn't mean to wait so long.
There were all these things I couldn't say. What is love if not forgiveness? Guess I'm finding out today. You are my blood, I have your hands, but there's still so much of you I'll never understand. I only pray if there's any grace at all, if there's a place where sorrow ends and love begins. Forgiveness. I always thought you could be different. Get it together. Mute the voices, change the channels. Anything, if you loved me enough. It's so ironic as I stand here, what I wouldn't give to hear your voice. All those times that you were there for me. Now I know you didn't have a choice. You are my blood, I have your hands, but there's still so much of you I'll never understand. I only pray if there's any grace at all, if there's a place where sorrow ends and love begins. Forgiveness. Now the wind won't even whisper. It's so quiet in this place.
All right.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Very beautiful.
It's a little intimidating singing after you guys. I just want you.
No, that's right. That was beautiful. Yeah.
Well, we've got a lot of people out here from all over the country. Holly from Colorado, Storm from up in Greenfield, Massachusetts. The Millers, who are friends of Kathy, which I'm assuming is Kathy Mateo, from Worthington, Ohio, and Cameron from Yorkshire, Edwina Hayes. Well, we welcome you all, and we are so delighted that you're here with us today to hear this amazing music.
Now, we do have a little bit of business to take care of, and you'll see this scrolling across the bottom of your screen. As you know, since March 13th, 2020, a lot of things closed down because of COVID, and that included a lot of performing venues and a lot of opportunities for musicians to be able to share the amazing songs that they write, their craft, and to be able to earn a living, to be very honest. And so we have what's called the KidPanAlley tip jar. And we hope that throughout the evening you will make a donation, you will be generous. All of the money is divided between the performing artists for the evening. And it is just a beautiful way to say thank you for their time and for just the amazing music that you're listening to this evening. So please just check out your screen. It's down there. It's also in the chat. And if you're having any trouble making that donation, just text us and we'll help you out. We'll help you out. So we're going to swing back around. And so the story that I was going to, or actually what I was going to ask Jon is I had a chance to watch, there was this video that I watched. I've been watching a lot of videos. What can I say? But this video was around, I guess it was back in about 2000, maybe 2010, and you were performing at the Blackbird Cafe.
Bluebird.
And Kathy was sitting in the front row, and you were there, and you were playing this most beautiful song that actually Kathy recorded and made it way all the way up in the charts. Where have you been? I wanted to ask if you could share a little bit about what inspired you to write that song, and then if it's not on your set list for tonight, if I could make a request that you might play it for.
Ooh, I haven't practiced it. Well, yeah.
Okay,
Thanks.
that's all right. I don't want to really put you in that kind of
I
spot.
should know it, but we've been doing it. Don Henry, who my good buddy and brother, we wrote that song together. It's a true story about my grandparents, and I was the guy that wheeled them in, and I told Don the story, and he said we should write that, and I thought about writing it, but it felt so close. It just felt almost too close, and but anyway, we wrote the song pretty quickly. I mean, we knew how it was going to end, obviously, so we just kind of put on our songwriter hats, and their names were actually Bill and Bertha rather than Claire and Edwin, but it just didn't scan in the song. So Bill and Bertha were some great uncles and aunts of mine, good German Lutheran stock up in Minnesota. And so, you know, we wrote the song and we didn't really think a lot about it, you know, and so I was writing at Rent's song at the time, and my publisher, Ree Geyer, was there, and we said, hey, can we play you something? So we were talking about this the other day. She was standing against the door. The door was closed in my little writing room there. And we played it for her, and she just dripped down the wall into a puddle of tears. And Don and I looked at each other and said, well, that doesn't happen all the time. But that song sat around for a long time. And people were talking about it, and you know, the great thing about Nashville, people would share songs and people talked about it. And Kathy, my wife, she had an agreement with her producer, Alan Reynolds, who also went on to produce Garth, and that they both had to agree on the songs. And he really loved the song, but he thought it was too sad. So that was it. And then one day I did it at the Bluebird, and she was there, and it got this response. And she went back and said, I know we have this deal, but can we just put it on the end of the record? And that's all. It was cut that way, you know, because we demoed it with a cello and a nylon string guitar and all of that stuff. And then it started to get this buzz, and it was the head of the record company in New York that said, we got to put this out. And I remember feeling this fear because we kept our careers real separately, and I remember thinking, great, first song she's recorded of mine, husband ends wife's career with one song. And I remember we were at the CMA Awards, and she just won Female Vocalist of the Year, and we were in our little Honda Civic, and we drove back, or Honda Accord, whatever it was. And as we were driving home from the awards, they pulled the song and played it on the radio, and we couldn't believe it. And you know, it just had a life of its own, and went on to be in Ken Burns actually featured it in his documentary on country music. So
yeah, it was a game-changing song, really. And I had a song on that album as well, and it was probably a chart-wise bigger hit than yours, but yours was the song that everybody remembered. And that's the way it should be. Every once in a while, things come out the way they should.
Well,
I can try to play it. Don Henry and I, my good buddy, we have a duel called the Don Juans. And hang on a second.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, John.
I love the fact that you put him on the spot. That is wonderful. I'm really enjoying this.
I'm high touch here. And the thing about it is that Don and I do it as we trade out verses. So, whoops. So I can't, this is great. He didn't stop the show, but he certainly slowed it down. Anyway, so I don't know if I can remember the verses. It's been a long time since I played it, but I'll try.
Thank you.
Claire had all but given up when she and Edwin fell in love. She touched his face and shook her head. In disbelief she sighed and said, in many dreams I've held you near. Now at last you're really here. Where have you been? I've looked for you forever and a day. Where have you been? No, I'm just not myself when you're away. He asked her for her hand for life. She became a salesman's wife. He was home each night by 8, but one stormy evening he was late. Her frightened tears fell to the floor till his key turned in the door. Where have you been? I've looked for you forever and a day. Where have you been? No, I'm just not myself when you're away. They'd never spent a night apart. For 60 years she heard him snore. Now they're in a hospital, in separate beds on different floors. Claire soon lost her memory, forgot the names of family. She never spoke a word again. Then one day they wheeled him in. He held her hand and stroked her head. And in a fragile voice she said, where have you been? I've looked for you forever and a day. Where have you been? I'm just not myself when you're away. No, I'm just not myself when you're away.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
I'm with you on that one. Every once in a while, you get to be beside greatness, you know.
Who's on the other side over there?
That's why we came to Nashville, is to be around people who wrote songs like that. You know.
Thanks, Pat.
You know, John, I think, well, someone in the chat room said that that should have actually been the theme song for the movie, The Notebook. Which
I think the movie actually came out a little bit after that. It was interesting, but yeah, I remember that. People, I've never seen The Notebook, but people talked about You know, a lot of people thought we had got the idea from the Notebook, but
Right.
nope.
But I am so grateful that you sang that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think right now there are lots and lots of families who
Yeah,
probably are in the hospital alone.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
How appropriate. So I'm going to wipe my eyes dry. Now I know, Pat, you can make me cry too. So
You're not gonna want me to play now, are you? After that, come on.
no,
Jeez.
What you doing, Pat?
I'm gonna do a new song. I suppose I should just talk a little bit about where I'm at these days. I'm happy to be with the person I'm with, and about 20 years ago, I kind of stepped away from the big time part of the music business and just got kind of back to writing songs the way I used to. And so one of the good things, if there is any good thing about isolating for this virus, is that I get to write a lot of songs by myself. There's nobody else there. And so this is a song I wrote a little while back, just when this was happening, and this is dedicated to Stacy. I'm gonna take my plugs out here. There's so much you can't explain. I mean, I keep getting older and older, thinking I'm going to get wiser and wiser. It's just, I just keep wondering when am I going to get? When do I get to the place where I understand everything? Anyway. I take things as they come and watch them as they go, as certain as the setting sun. There's one thing I still know, my heart is overflowing, and questions fill my mind, but the answers come so slowly. I know I'll just run out of time, so I will meet you in the dark again to open up my soul and mend my heart a little as you keep me from the cold. And I'm grateful for each humble gift you're willing to bestow. It's the one reward remaining now that I'm growing old. Friends constantly remind me there's so much left to do, so I agree reluctantly to stir that which is brewed. No going back to the beginning, or even somewhere in between. So I make do with what I'm given, and that's enough for me. And I will meet you in the dark again to open up my soul and mend my heart a little as you keep me from the cold. And I'm grateful for each humble gift you're willing to bestow. It's the one reward remaining now that I'm growing old. I'm learning to accept it. I can't ignore the simple truth. The things that I find missing are lost now to my youth. I wake each day and wonder what on earth will pull me through. But as the light is fading, I return again to you. And I meet you in the dark again to open up my soul and mend my heart a little as you keep me from the cold. And I'm grateful for each humble gift you're willing to bestow. It's the one reward remaining now that I'm growing old. Well, it's the one reward remaining now that I'm growing old. Yes, I take things as they come, and I watch them as they go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
All right.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Let me get my
You know, that's about the only way to do it. Take things as they go.
all right.
Hey, Paul, I'm still hearing that echo on Cheryl's voice.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, Ryan.
It's on yours as well. Is anyone else hearing an echo from them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it in my ear headphones. Yeah.
We didn't have an echo before.
That's great, Pat. That's great, Pat. This is- you just-
I can
you should just stay by yourself most of the time.
That's
never know.
kind and unkind.
The other thing I could do is go
You feel strongly both ways, right?
Yeah, right.
You're a politician.
is that better, Ryan? Try that, Cheryl.
Is that better? No, I still hear the echo. I hear it myself.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Well, maybe we should have them do another round and see if we can't sort it out in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, let me try one thing here, Ryan, just a second. And how about now, Ryan?
No, now you're just very quiet.
Okay, so the echo's still there. Okay.
Oh, the whole time?
Nope, not at all. I think we should do another round. We'll sort it out in the chat.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna swing it back around and we're gonna work on our end. So I don't sound like I'm in a cave or.
Maybe John and Pat should try to mute themselves. I think it's because they're unmuted.
Yeah, I just muted them. Cheryl, can you talk a little?
Sure.
No, it's still happening. I have a couple ideas, but let's do another round and.
So John and Pat, would you play us another one?
Okay,
Sure.
sure.
What do you want to do? Let's see. Well, I'm going to do a song that I've only done out once, and you know, the first song was the easiest one, and I messed that up, so I can only go downhill. And the reason why I'm doing this song is I was with some friends last night, and we were talking about the Googles and the internets and the YouTubes, and so I thought maybe I'll try this song. So. What an excellent age it is. I have the whole world at my fingertips. Choose any subject, the touch of a button. These laptops and tablets and laptops, you just gotta love them. All I have to do is just sit and click. What a beautiful age it is. What a wonderful life I got. I can buy anything and not leave this spot. Newspapers, novels, music, and movies. My laptop, my hard drives, I'm sorry. Newspapers, novels, music to movies. Downloads are cheap, there's no need to be choosy. Now my hard drive's so full, I've no clue what I bought. But what a beautiful life I've got. But lately I'm finding I miss books that have bindings. You don't have to plug in when you want to read them. And deep down I grieve for records with sleeves, with print deep enough you can actually see it. Before we had iPads, Kindles, and Nooks, back when there were books. Now you may think me on cool or on hip, but to tell you the truth, I don't give a flip. Give me books made of paper and records of vinyl, 'cause I've had it to here with plastic from China. Misplacing my charger is causing me fits. You may think me on cool or on hip, but I miss those days you can dog-ear the pages and write in the margins any thoughts you might have. Highlight the lines as a way to remind you when you want, in some future time when you want to go back. Before we had iPads, Kindles, and Nooks, back when there were books. Now you may claim I'm insane, my brain's overcooked, I'm hung up on the past and can't get unhooked. But that's right where I'd stay if there's a way that I could. Back when there were books. Something like that.
Yeah. Writing the truth.
What?
Writing the truth again.
Yeah, who knows? You know, the problem was I can't read it off the page. I was going to bring the lyrics on my iPad, but somehow that didn't seem right.
Well, I don't mind cheating because I'm of that age. You know, I can cheat.
Are you going to do
No, never mind. Small town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul, I think you just need to turn up a good bit.
Okay, this is a song about my. You want me to do another one? Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. This song about my hometown that I claim is my hometown. I was actually born in Long Island City, New York, but we've tried to keep that a big secret until now. When I was 7, I moved to a small town in Georgia called LaGrange, Georgia, and it was great. It was the Mayberry, last of the Mayberry years, I guess. No one locked their doors, and why would we lock a door? There was nothing inside to get. Hey, bring us some stuff and leave it. That's the way we thought. Leave us some stuff. We had one movie theater growing up, and when I was a teenager and going steady. Hey, Kay, if you're out there. They used to play the latest Elvis movie that was out until they were sure everyone had seen it. And that if you're going steady and you go, oh, honey, what do you want to do? You want to go see that Elvis movie again? No. Well, the only other choice was we could go to Noonan, Georgia. And to do that, we had to take a back road and go 90 miles an hour and try to make it back in time for curfew. And Kay was she was a lot smarter than that. So mostly it was just the guys doing that. And I thought it was a pretty good idea for a song. So couldn't get anybody interested in this song if you're a songwriter out there. Nobody wanted to cut this song. I mean, I used to pitch it, and they got pitched back to me pretty fast.
Actually, I don't know if you remember.
That's right.
I was the first one I cut it on John Barry.
This is exactly good. Thanks for reminding me. This guy, I don't know what I'd do without him. But he did cut this on he was trying to get John Barry a deal and cut this on John Barry. And John did a great job.
Yeah.
Production was great. And John didn't even want to record it. So nobody wanted this song. And I judged a great song contest down in Kerrville, Texas, named the Kerrville New Folk Contest. And this guy won, named Hal Ketchum. And I thought he was just one of the greatest singers in the world. And I asked him as a favor to just do a work tape of this for me. Next thing I know, it's his first hit single, and it's like if I could make a loop out of all the bar band videos that I get sent of this song, it would be about 3 hours long. And it's just a simple old song about my hometown. But this is for the cousins, if there's a bunch of them out there listening. And my mother loved this. And my grandson Ezra even came up and sang it with me at a show recently. He's only 5, and he loves this song. I hope you're watching, Ezra. Here we go.
There's an Elvis movie on a marquee sign. Oh, we've all seen at least 3 times. Everybody's broke, but Bobby's got a buck. $4 worth of gas in his pickup truck. We going 90 miles an hour down a dead-end road. What's the hurry? Where you gonna go? We're gonna howl at the moon, shoot out the light. It's a small town Saturday night. Yes, it's a small town Saturday night. Lucy's got her lipstick on a little too bright. And oh, Bobby's getting drunk and he's looking for a fight. Liquor on his breath and trouble on his mind. And oh, Lucy's just a kid and along for the ride. They got a 6-pack of beer and a bottle of wine. They gotta be bad just to have a good time. And they howl at the moon, shoot out the light. It's a small town Saturday night. Yes, it's a small town Saturday night.
Part of the song was pretty easy to write. Pretty much the way it happened. I just changed the names. Protect the innocent. Actually, protect the guilty. I couldn't think of anything else to say about a small town. It really took a long time to come up with this next verse. But when I did, I went, I think it's done. Bobby told Lucy the world ain't round. You know it dropped us off sharp at the edge of town. Lucy, you know the world must be flat. Cars and people leave town, they never come back. They go 90 miles an hour to the city limit sign, put the pedal to the metal before they change their mind. And they howl at the moon, shoot out the light. It's a small town Saturday night. Yes, they howl at the moon, shoot out the light. 'Cause it's a small town Saturday night. Yes, it's a small town Saturday night. Said it's a small town Saturday night.
come
All
back
right,
home.
so we're going to open up just the Zoom room for a second, and everyone give a shout out if you live in a small town. You ready? Here we go. Everyone's unmuted? Nope, you all are muted. Everybody unmute. Well, most everybody's
Just people
muted.
from small towns.
That's right. If you're from a small town, give a shout out to Small Town USA. Here we go. Woo! Here you go. It's all about small towns.
And we may live in the smallest town of all. Our town has 124.
Wow. That
Yeah.
is wonderful. You know, it's been very fascinating when you got a song like that and you play it out, and everybody comes up and says, "Man, you must have visited my hometown."
Yeah.
And I go, my town wasn't really even that small. There's 24,000 people there. You know.
Well, I knew that wasn't about our little town, Little Washington.
No, but we all feel that small town feeling.
Yeah.
We really do. Well, I think we fixed our echo issue,
Okay.
Yeah.
which is a good thing. And so it's always exciting, to have an opportunity for Paul to be able to perform as well. My gosh, your career has spanned it over, 45, almost 50 years?
Getting close to, yep. It's over 45 anyway.
Starting as an instrument maker and, just working in the folklore center in, what was it, in Arlington or Alexandria?
Alexandria, but that would make it about almost 60 years.
Yes, and
If we start that early.
inspired a lot by the folklore center with Joan Baez and all of those folks stopping by to play songs. And then I think Woodstock was a big,
It was.
had a
I
lot of
think
influence.
That's probably why I ended up being a musician, was going to Woodstock.
Really? I lived there for 5 years, actually, and 73 to 78. Wow.
I was one of the people who could prove he was at Woodstock. I got it. There was a picture of me in Life magazine.
No kidding.
Waterfall.
No kidding. Were you clothed, Paul?
course
Did you have clothes on? Okay, that was good. That's good.
And
it was
neither
from the
was the
waist up.
woman that he was grabbing. So, but
I heard the
that
story.
hey, it was
But we
Woodstock.
won't talk about that. That was another lifetime.
That was
dear.
another lifetime, dear. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce my partner and an awesome musician, Paul Reisler.
Cool.
Okay. Ooh. Get that in better tune here. Okay. Okay. This is an instrumental. We've been doing these concerts for about 25 weeks now, and it's hard to come up with 25 instrumentals. And so a little while ago, I started having to repeat some, and I said, well, I used to have a bunch more instrumentals that I played 25, 30 years ago that I no longer remember, and many of which I haven't played since the mid-90s. And so this week I dusted out one of those. This is a tune called How Dad Created the World. I had written it for a play that my late wife was a Obie Award-winning playwright, actress, and director. And she had a play called How Dad Created the World, and this was some of the music for it. And it was all about her dad and her relationship with her dad, and how her dad was an opera singer and singing teacher, and his version of the creation story was, in the beginning, everybody sang, but then when Eve ate the apple, they started talking, and that's where it all went downhill after that. So anyway, this is How Dad Created the World.
Woohoo! Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you. Well, that was a long time ago when I used to be able to play that song.
Yeah.
Almost.
Well, is that Dad Gad? You playing that in Dad Gad?
It's open G.
Open E. Okay.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you.
I want to remind everyone, scrolling down at the bottom, we have that wonderful tip jar. So I know so many of you have been enjoying the music tonight. It just brings us joy, some tears, some memories, takes us back home, and we hope that you'll be generous and make your donation. We want to give a shout out to Peggy Glenn, good friends Tracy and John Jackman, Jem Burke, and Catherine Kidd. They've all made donations, and we want to thank you so much for your generosity. Your support is so welcome. And remember, it's all divided up amongst the performers tonight, so it's exciting. They get a paycheck.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
wow.
Tens of dollars.
Lower part of the screen there, if you are technologically inclined, QR code is there that'll take you to PayPal, or you can go to PayPal, and our moniker there is @KidPan, and at Venmo it's @KidPanAlley.
So before we go for the round again, I just want to ask both John and Pat your origin story. And how did you find your pathway to music that has led you to where you are now? An abbreviated one, but you know, with KidPanAlley, a nonprofit that Paul started back in 1999. He recognized that kids make these amazing song co-writers. And did you originally want to be a fireman or a doctor, or did you actually just kind of know where you wanted to go?
Well, I was out on a work release program.
Never worked there.
He's still out on it, by the way.
Your whole life.
Go ahead, Pat.
No, you go ahead.
You know, I had a lot of physical stuff going on as a kid, and so I had to spend. I couldn't play baseball and stuff. Had problems, and you know, so I had to spend a lot of time on myself, and basically, my uncle bought me a record player, and I'd heard these songs on the radio, and I felt something on a visceral level, and I felt not so alone, and that was the thing. And I remember at the time thinking, I'd like to do that for somebody else, but I didn't know what that meant or how that, and so later on I got into bands, and I played bass and was a lead singer and stuff, but I never took the time to learn the lyrics of the cover songs we were doing. I just made my own up.
There you go.
The guys would kind of get frustrated with me at the time, but I just always wrote, and it was the place that I would go to. It's an interesting. I was talking to somebody a while back, and they were talking about, a lot of people talking about, well, I meditate, and and I told them, I've tried humming in the lotus position, and it just doesn't work for me. But I realized that when I go and sit at the piano, or play the guitar, or work on something, that's my form of, that's my form of meditation. It's my form of being connected with whatever that higher power thing is. I feel most connected with myself, and most connected to other people that way. And and what's wonderful with songs is is if you can tap into something that means something to you, there's a good chance it may strike somebody. There might be somebody out there that it touches. There's I'm a firm believer there's a thread that runs among all of us. Einstein, there was a great quote by Einstein. He said the great illusion is there's more than one of us. And I kind of believe that. So
That's good.
yeah.
Good quote.
How about
Also,
you, Pat?
Gandhi said that they asked him what he thought of Western civilization, and he thought it'd be a good idea. So
Here, here.
We're still hoping. You know?
yeah.
How about you, Pat? What brought you to your journey?
I'm just I don't really know. I got a guitar because I liked folk music. You know, I was coming of age when hootenannies and those kinds of things were happening, and I got a really cheap guitar. Then my dad ran a TV repair shop, and some guy came in and traded him a Martin 0028 for a Zenith console TV that had a kind of a played out TV, you know, tube in it. And next thing I know, I've got this amazing instrument. My mother inherited a Steinway upright piano that was there, and then my mother's family were all either sang harmony or played something, and music was just part of my life at that point. And as you're a teenager, it became the most important part. When I went to college in Atlanta, they had folk clubs everywhere, and I was paying my own way, so I ended up auditioning and playing open mic nights, and finally somebody actually paid me, and I went, huh? You know, well, and it just, I just bumped into the right people along the way. Everywhere I went, somebody would just go, you know, you're pretty good, and I would just, that would be just enough encouragement to keep me from quitting, you know, and. I still, you know, don't understand how I got here, to be honest. It's been through the good grace of a lot of wonderful friends and people, and I enjoy what I do very much. Working with somebody like Jon, who really knows what he's doing, has been so enlightening, and you know. Just the variety of people I've met has just made it just be so much fun and pleasure.
Well, I think both of you, all of you included, your gifts, your journey, your travel has really, it really has blessed everyone and brought so much joy. Music is just so important, especially now. It is what keeps us moving during the day. It helps us remember, and it helps remind us of who we need to be.
Yeah, it's good. Well said. Yeah.
So just thank you so much. And thank you for answering that question. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So we're going to have you do one more.
Okay.
And then,
I guess what, you will finish out, or do we want to have them finish?
no, we're going to have them finish out.
Okay, so we're going to do one more.
Sure. So let me ask you this, gentlemen. Do you have two more in you?
Sure.
All right, perfect. So we'll do one more with you all, and then we've got one, and then we'll let you ring us out for the evening.
Oh, and I see in the chat a couple of old dear friends of mine, Nicole, a friend of mine from the Virginia Center for the Creative Arts, is watching, and thanks for being here, Nicole. Haven't seen you in a while. And then Tony Norris. Tony and I go back to probably one of my first quasi-professional gigs, I should say. We used to play up at Canning Valley Ski Resort for square dancing.
Square dancing. That takes you back.
And that was back, God, that was back in the late 60s, early 70s. It was before Trapezoid, which started in 75. So great to see you out there, Tony. Hope you're doing well.
All right, gentlemen, what are you going to play for us?
Well, I'm going to do a song that Pat and I wrote, and I must also, it wasn't mentioned, but Paul is an absolutely amazing hammer dulcimer player, virtuoso.
Wow.
And it's something to see. I can't get him to play it enough, but and also the KidPanAlley thing. I love doing that, and I love working with the kids and seeing the light come on in their eyes, and giving them an opportunity to be seen and to be heard is just a wonderful thing. Well, thanks a lot for asking us. It's funny. One of the things you could tell by my performance tonight that I don't take myself too seriously like I used to, and if I screw up, I screw up, and that's the wonderful humanness about this, because it can be so,
Very true.
human. This is a song. This is a second song Pat and I wrote, and we sat down and wrote the chorus, I believe, and we tried to work on some verses, and just couldn't come up with anything. So we said, well, we'll get together another week, or so. And I think it was about 2 months later, I was driving up fishing to meet some friends, and I started working on this song in the car and the verses, and I was so into it that I missed my turnoff by like 45 minutes, which is not uncommon for me. And I got up there and I called Pat at about 10:30 at night. Hey, I said, Pat, he said, yeah. He said, I got it. And he goes, great. What?
No
I said,
idea what he was talking about.
Yeah, he didn't know what I was talking about. But anyway, we did this song, and I played it around the house, and my wife Kathy heard it, and she said she never brought my songs to Alan, but that was one she brought to Alan, and Alan didn't respond. And then one day, about a month later, Alan, her producer, hands her this cassette. Remember those things? And said to her, "Hey, I think you might like this song." So she looks at it and looks at the title, and she said, "Are you pitching me this song?" And he said, "Yeah." And she says, "Yeah, Pat wrote it with somebody." So he didn't even know I'd written it. So anyway, and I think this is a good song for the time that we're in.
Very true. Very true.
I'm going to take this thing out of my ear so it doesn't. Okay.
I heard a siren late last night. You must have felt me shiver, shaken by a wave of fright. Then you come with a whisper, and fear gave way to better things and sweeter dreams, like a warm spring rain on the roof above. The way you call my name when we make love, while the world outside my window goes insane. You're here to remind me a few good things remain. When living leaves my pride bruised up, I'm fragile as a feather. The storms of life just won't let up. You're like a change of weather. When dust settles on my dreams, you wash them clean like a warm spring rain on the roof above. The way you call my name when we make love, while the world outside my window goes insane. You're here to remind me few good things remain. While the world outside my window goes insane, you're here to remind me a few good things remain. You're here to remind me a few good things remain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job. Awesome.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. It's beautiful.
Thank
well,
you.
Imagine getting the news that Kathy Mateo was going to record a song like that and having it become a single. That was a brilliant.
And the amazing, and the other thing about that, contrary to what's going on, Pat, you played guitar on the
That's
record.
right. I played guitar.
And it was acoustic guitar, bass, drums, and steel guitar. And that's all it was. And she sang the vocal as it went down, right?
It was all live.
All live.
And,
Unbelievable.
It was one of those wonderful days. You know, you kind of go, man, I know there's a reason I love this. You know, and that was one of those days. It was like that. Jon is a guy that never gives up on things. He always sticks it out until it's as good as it can be. And
you could tell that by my performance on a couple of those songs.
He's going to have to go back and do a little homework now and stick with it a little bit more. I encourage you to stick with it, Jon. So he had this idea, and he told me this idea. I'm going to take my ear off again here. He told me this idea, and I went, oh, man, what a great idea. And I said, I kind of facetiously said, well, save that for me, and we'll write it together. And he did. He saved it for me. He got a big head start on the lyric. And I used to go every summer for a month up in Maine, and I took the only song I took with me was this song, because he had tuned in to where I was in my life, and every day I got that song out and worked on it, because I just wanted it to be as perfect as it could be, and we recently recorded it, and we have a nice track on it. If I'll ever get
we did a record on Pat.
We did a record. If I'll ever get myself together and get it out. It's an amazing record that Jon did a terrific job on. And this, the record was already done, but we went ahead and remastered it with this song on it. And I haven't played it out in a while, but I'm gonna try it right now. It goes like this. The days fly by so fast. Before I even know, another one's flown by and I never saw it go. Tomorrow turns into one more yesterday. Then yesterday becomes the day before. I've already missed so many, but I'm not missing any anymore. I want to breathe in every breath that I've got left. Waste no time living in regret. I'll let what's gone be gone and just keep moving on. I wanna feel each new emotion, from a teardrop to an ocean. Not let one precious moment pass, as long as I'm still on the green side of the grass. There's some who just give up before they've even tried, and others dig a hole before they've even died. And I've been down both roads and wasted so much time, as if life would just be waiting at my door. I was foolishly mistaken, a mistake I won't be making anymore. I want to breathe in every breath that I've got left. Waste no time living in regret. I'll let what's gone be gone and just keep moving on. I want to feel each new emotion, from a teardrop to an ocean. Not let one precious moment pass, as long as I'm still on the green side of the grass. What's the hurry, friend? There's no better place to be. We both know how this ends. Sit a little time with me and we'll just feel each new emotion, from a teardrop to an ocean. Not waste one precious moment past, as long as I'm still on the green side of the grass. As long as I'm still on the green side of the grass. What's the hurry, friend?
Woo!
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
that was beautiful.
Thank you.
So I have this long list of people who have just been very generous and have donated to the tip jar. And I want Pat and John, I want you to know about them. That's Jeff Green, Nancy Chase, Betty Fredrickson, Judy Freeman, Doug Hemberger, Monica Zanetti, Edwina Hayes, Rachel Rowland,
Edwina. Yeah.
Pat Snyder, Gail Swift, Holly Harang, Julie Volkman, Eileen Sussman, Walter Yee, Susan Salzman, and Joseph Dusenberry. And if I mispronounce your name, my apologies. But
Wow.
the most important thing is we just want to thank you so much. And for
Thank
those of
you.
you who are just, kind of waiting for that last moment to arrive, just remember you can make that donation to the tip jar. It's such a beautiful thank you to these two wonderful gentlemen who have just, done such an amazing job this evening.
Thank you.
So we have one song that first graders wrote.
All right. I
We
love
got to
that.
keep perspective here. First graders, and then gentlemen, would you treat us to one more that will close us out for the night?
Sure.
So this song, I wrote with first graders at Red Hill Elementary, down south of Charlottesville. And the kids had been studying the planets, and they wanted to write a song about the planets. So I said, well, who knows the names of all the planets? And this kid's hand shot up and he says, I used to know the names of all the stars. Oh, I mean planets. And I said, whoa, wait a minute here. You used to know the names of all the stars. When did you know the names of all the stars? Oh, back before I was born. And I thought, wow, what a great idea. And we started talking about how we know everything, and then when we're born, the angel slaps us on the mouth and we forget it, and we have to go through life to learn it all again. And that's what this song is about. It also became the title of an album. Our KidPanAlley Charlottesville album was named after this. I used to know the names of all the stars, and we were very fortunate to get who was really one of my idols for many, many years. Jesse Winchester sang it on the album. What a treat that was. But first graders can be so profound because they're still fairly connected to source and to dreaming.
All right.
You ready?
Ready. So you kind of have to get on your first grade suit. I used to know the names of all the stars. Now I just know a few melodies like Jupiter, Earth, and Mars. I used to know the name of every child. Back before I was born, back when I was safe and warm, back when I was flying in the sky. Now I have to go to school and learn it all again. Get good grades and try to remember when I used to know the words to all the songs. Now I only know the melodies and I just hum along. I used to know the language of the birds, the robin and the blue jay. I always knew what they would say, the prettiest songs that I have ever heard. Now I have to go to school and learn it all again. Get good grades and try to remember when I used to know the name of every tree. Now they're just a forest in the dusk of evening. I used to see the God in everything. Now it's just a rustling, a whisper that I'm trusting when the red buds blossom in the spring. Now I have to go to sleep, learn it all again. Let my dreaming take me to the place where it began. When I used to know the names of all the stars.
All right.
Bravo. Yeah. Very good.
Donna is out there, said you sound great, Cheryl. And
oh, thank you.
Yeah, really sounded fantastic.
Peggy Glenn said after your last song there, Pat, she said, holy cow, it's 76. This is my new anthem. It's a winner.
Oh, okay, that's me and John together on that one.
Beautiful, beautiful song.
It's too bad we don't know. We were actually, we'd have the perfect follow up to that song. We wrote a song. We've got it. We actually we lost it. Lost the lyrics, but the title was.
I used to know it all back then.
I used to know it all back then, but I know better now.
But I know better now. We actually lost it. That is really stupid, you know.
Oh, no.
Pat, Julie Volkman asked, what was the title of the song that you sang?
That's called
Green Side of the Grass.
Green Side of the Grass.
Green Side of the Grass. And where can the lyrics be found? She wanted to know.
Nowhere.
Nowhere yet.
Nowhere yet.
Hoping by the end of the year or the first of the year that I'll have this album out and I'll have a little website with the lyrics on it.
So before you both close us out, I just want to take an opportunity to thank you both so much for being here with us tonight. It's such a humbling and wonderful experience to share time with you. John, it's always a pleasure to have you back. And Pat, it has been so wonderful to meet you and to have a chance to learn more about you and to listen to your amazing songs.
Well, thank you. I love working with kids too. I haven't done it in a while, but I used to work in a program for the Country Music Hall of Fame called the Words and Music Program.
We're gonna have to scoop you
KidPanAlley
up
sometime, yeah.
Yep.
Actually, we actually had one successful song that I wrote with some fourth graders that was on that CBS Sunday morning show.
Oh.
And my two co-writers actually got a royalty check. So kind of exciting.
Well, that's
I got one too, but that
That
was
was a
really
long time ago, it must have been.
well, a long time ago. Yeah, I wasn't. I was in the sixth grade at the time myself.
A couple of things we wanted to tell you about. Our next concert is we do concerts on the second and fourth Sundays of the month, always at 7 o'clock. The next concert is on December 13th, and I'm going to put up a little screen about it here. And it's got one of my oldest and dearest friends, Cy Khan, on it. And I think Kathy recorded one of Cy's songs one time, and there's many, many other people. And Cy is actually responsible for, I had stopped writing songs for a while, and Cy was the one who got me writing them again about 35 years ago. And there are about 3,000 songs because of Cy. And Anne E. Duchamp, who is an incredible singer-songwriter. She really rocks out. I think you're all going to enjoy this concert a lot. So you can get tickets, and we'll put it up on the website tomorrow. But hope you will join us for that concert.
But everyone, give it to John and Pat. They're going to take us out for this evening. And we want to thank you all for being with us again. Just another amazing, amazing, amazing concert series this evening. So,
and I also wanted to mention our friends,
that's right.
Our friends over at In Your Ear Studios, which is one of the nicest studios in the whole East Coast, in my book. They have a concert series on Tuesday nights at 7:30, and they have really, really set the bar high. They have like 5 cameras and a recording studio sound. And so it's just a real joy to hear the concerts there because they sound so fantastic. So that'll be, they do every Tuesday at 7:30. In Your Ears on their Facebook page. Okay.
all right, folks.
Well, you mentioned Cy Khan. Cy Khan and I are good friends. We've written many, many songs together, and hopefully I can remember the words to this one. This is, he came up to Minnesota, to the little lake place I had up there, my parents had, and we wrote 5 songs in 4 days. And I remember Cy wanted to go fishing, and he wanted to go fishing. And so this friend of mine took him out fishing because I had some work to do. And he brought a jacket, and the friend had a life jacket, and they went out, and he came back, and he'd lost his life jacket and his jacket, and it was broad daylight. So, but anyway, I told him I used to go out to take the bus out to see my grandfather when I was a kid, back when you could do that. And I loved him dearly. And we'd go for walks, and this song is all true. So I told Cy the story, and then Pat's going to do one that's also just wonderful. Thanks again, you guys.
Thank you. It's been a
Thank you.
real joy to have you here with us.
Thank you all.
He stood 5'6" when his back. Jesus. He stood 5'5" when his back ached from working in the yard, and 5'6" on a good day when the wind wasn't blowing hard. And he could swear a blue streak that'd make even Satan blush. But me, I'd just start laughing. That old cuss. We'd stroll down to the ballpark, taking our good old time. His right hand in its pocket,
his left hand holding mine. Now I've always find a nickel by that darn old willow tree. Now you, my grandpa, walking right by me. Now I'm going back to the nickel tree where I'm still that kid and that kid's still me. Everything's like it used to be under the nickel tree. Now they'll never quite convince me he died in '65. There's a part of him that'll live in me as long as I'm alive. It took me nearly 30 years, but one day I finally got it. He'd been dropping all those nickels through a hole in his right pocket. Now I'm going back to the nickel tree where I'm still that kid and that kid's still me. Everything's like it used to be under the nickel tree. Now that willow at the ballpark stands like a wounded soldier with missing limbs and a hollow trunk. I guess we both have gotten older. But something led me back there the last time I was in town. I bet you won't believe me when I tell you what I found. Now I'm going back to the nickel tree where I'm still that kid and that kid's still me. Everything's like it used to be under the nickel tree. So that's where we ended the song. But I started thinking, I thought, you know, it's not exactly, it didn't go exactly like that. So I had to write another verse, and I sent this to Cy. Now I could end this song right now, and you wouldn't be no wiser. You'd feel all warm and funny. It's fuzzy, and I'd feel like a liar. 'Cause truth is, it was a quarter hiding in that vegetation. Leave it to that old coot to add in for inflation. Now I'm going back to the nickel tree where I'm still that kid and that kid's still me. Everything's like it used to be under the nickel tree, under the nickel tree.
All right. Love that. I remember that.
Very good.
Wow.
Well, it's been great to be out of my house doing something that's fun, and I appreciate the opportunity to play for you. I love songwriting. I love playing the songs. I've been very fortunate to have had fantastic artists like Kathy Mattea record my songs, and Garth Brooks, and just an enormous number of really great singers. Kathy, though, has always been very special for any songwriter because she sings the melody that you wrote, for one thing, and then she does it so beautifully. And she always picks songs that have some kind of depth to them. And I wrote this with a good pal who passed away last year. His name was Ralph Murphy. We were both pretty avid gardeners at the time we wrote this, and he came in and he had just planted his Brussels sprouts, actually. And I thought, boy, now you're talking. Let's write a song about Brussels sprouts, Ralph. Ralph was like that, though. He would come up with an idea like that. And and I do believe actually Brussels sprouts was in the original thing he showed me. And I said, right. Ralph, let's just call it seeds. Let's don't describe the seeds if Brussels sprouts is going to be one of them. So, but, you know, one of the things that's pretty obvious tonight, you can tell that Jon and our other friends that we write with, we're all storytellers. And the story in this song is very, very true. Some of it, and some of it actually happened. That's about the only way to describe how you are as a songwriter. But to everyone who's lost someone out there recently, this is for you, and that includes me, because I did lose my pal. Ralph was just one of those. So I was talking about him yesterday, and just one of those guys that, you know, meant a lot to you. Sometimes you wanted to hit him over the head with a 2x4, but he meant a lot to me. I sure miss him. And it goes like this. Sometimes I stop on my way home to watch the children play, and I wonder if they wonder what they'll be someday. Some will dream a big dream and make it all come true, while others go on dreaming of things they'll never do. We're all just seeds in God's hands. We start to sing, but where we land is sometimes fertile soil and sometimes sand. We're all just seeds in God's hands. I saw a friend the other day I hardly recognized. He'd done a lot of living since I last looked in his eyes, and he told his tale of how he'd failed and the lessons he'd been taught. But he offered no excuses, and he left me with this thought: we're all just seeds in God's hands. We start to sing, but where we land is sometimes fertile soil and sometimes sand. We're all just seeds in God's hands. And as I'm standing at the crossroads once again, I'm reminded we're all the same when we begin. And in the end, we're all just seeds in God's hands. We start the same, but where we land is sometimes fertile soil and sometimes sand. We're all just seeds in God's hand. We're all just seeds in God's hand.
Yeah,
you very
very
much.
good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
Pat.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Thanks
We
for
wanted
having
to
us.
thank Jay Lipschitz, who's
Yes, absolutely. J.R.
Jay,
man.
absolutely.
Who's-
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Jay.
Making us sound good.
We should put a camera on him.
KidPanAlley.
Thank you, Ryan.
And our board members, Jen Jacobson, who's executive director, is out there, Mitchell Gowan, old friend of John's.
Doug Himberger.
Watching, Doug Himberger, John and Tracy Jacob, all who help us so much at KidPanAlley. And John Hill said he loved that song in Kathy's version.
Oh, John. How you doing, John? Good to see you.
And John has a great radio show called John Hill's Acoustic Music.
Yeah, he's got a great radio show.
And I also want to give a shout out to my dad. My mom and dad watched tonight, and so thank you, Mom and Dad. So glad you were with us. You know, my mom really relates a lot to Kathy. She's a coal miner's daughter. And those songs mean a lot to her. So thank you, everyone. And I want to remind you about December 13th. Come and join us. And officially tomorrow, we start to kick off our KidPanAlley Winter Fundraiser. So expect to hear from us, and we hope that you will help support us as we continue these amazing projects. So gentlemen, good night. Good night, everyone.
I'm going to open up the window here, and if anybody wants to say something to thank the musicians, please go ahead or just say whatever you feel.
Yeah, say hi.
Just unmute yourself and say hi.
Hi, John. I really love your song, Where Have You Been? Especially, like, my dad used to go sailing, and occasionally he'd come home pretty late, and I wasn't sure if he was going to come home or if some accident had happened or something. So, like, your line about the key in the door, and that really, hits home to me.
That's great.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah.
And I had seen you at Five Towns College out in Long Island a few years ago.
Oh, yeah. That was great. That was fun. With Paxton? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Me and Don and Paxton. Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for the kind words.
Hi, Pat. It's nice to see you after all these years.
Hey, who's that?
Jay Dusenberry.
Oh, hey, Jay. That's so wild.
We're still waiting for your book, your biography.
When you consider how much time I'm spending at home, I really don't have any excuse, But I do work on it from time to time, Jay. Jay was there in the beginning in Atlanta when I was playing with the Atlanta Folk Music Society in the 60s. And he had we won't tell everything, Jay, but
No, I
know
know
where you had a great
up.
J200, didn't you, or something like that?
Still at it.
All right, yeah.
It's right over there.
Fantastic.
That's probably why it wasn't there.
Fantastic. Great to see you, Jay. Thank you for joining.
Okay.
Pat.
Yes, I'm sorry. Hey, Richard. Judy, how are you? That's
small town LaGrange.
My college roommate, Richard Freeman, Dr. Richard Freeman, and his lovely wife,
Thanks for
Judy.
playing Siege. That's my favorite.
Fantastic. I'm glad you're
We're going to go
I'm
out.
glad you were here at home,
We're at
Thanks
home.
for joining us at home.
We're going to go outside in a minute and howl at the moon and shoot out the light.
All right. down, keeping LaGrange safe, you guys.
We're trying.
Yeah. Well, it's great to see you. We need to talk on the phone soon.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
And through the miracles of Zoom, I'm a new fan to you two from Greenfield, Massachusetts.
Wow.
All right.
My name's
I love
Torm.
I love the state of Massachusetts.
Yeah, no
that's for
kidding.
sure. Fantastic.
Hey, John, it's great
Hey,
to listen to you again.
Hey, Bubba. How you
Hey,
doing?
Pat, I just want to say hi.
Hey,
Glad I
man.
got to hear you
I'm
guys.
sorry I only played one Garth song. I know that.
That's
must have
all
been-
right. That's all
you must
right.
have
I
been
love,
gnashing your teeth. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. It's great. It's great hearing different musicians like John and Paul. It was the first time I got to hear them, and nothing beats the storytelling. That's the best part about it. And so that was awesome. But thank you for playing tonight.
They were all lies.
You feeling better, Bubba?
I'm hanging in there. I got my 6th round of chemo coming up tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm still kicking its ass. So I'm staying strong. Thank you.
I'm thinking about you.
Appreciate it.
Good. Thank you for coming tonight at home.
Hey, Pat, how's it going?
Hey, John, how you doing?
Hey, good to see you. Good to hear you. And John, we've never met, but I certainly have enjoyed your songs tremendously through the years. And thanks a lot, Paul. Paul and Cheryl. Paul, it's been forever since we saw each other. And Cheryl, we've never met, but I really enjoyed hearing you guys too. Tonight.
Fantastic. They were really good.
Nice, really nice effort, you guys. I mean, to have these two little storytelling guys on your show, what a wonderful
Two
thing.
old-timers, two storytelling old-timers.
Speak for yourself.
That's funny. Hey, John, yeah, thanks, man. We're gather around, children.
Pat, don't forget that when your album comes out, let me know.
I will, man.
I will order one up as fast as you can.
I'm one of those guys. No album before it's there's no longer an interest in it.
Buddy. Hey. Hey.
Thank you.
Oliver.
It's good to see you for sure.
Oliver.
Hey, buddy. Come here.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a safe night. And
Thank you. Stay safe, everybody.
All right.
Hey, it's Mitchell. Thank you for the show again, John. It was great
Hey,
hearing you
Mitchell.
sing
Hey,
again.
great to see. I saw your name up there. I don't see your face, but how are you doing?
Yeah, I have my radio face on tonight.
Good to see you, man.
I'm driving a car, but I'll try to see you in December. I'll be coming up to Nashville.
Great. Give me a call. My number's the same.
Okay, cool, man.
Thank you. Yep.
Have a good evening, y'all. Thank you.
See you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
See y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.